What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Show. Today we're looking at more McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Now with this set, we don't really have a wave in particular, and in this we're doing like a Superman and Flash set. So first up here from DC Rebirth, we have Superman, which is pretty cool, and Reverse Flash, which looks awesome, so obviously in the reverse colors. So both of these look cool, and again, how they appear in the DC Rebirth. And to go along with these, we also have the animated version. So we have the black suit variant of Superman from the Superman animated series, as well as the Flash from the series. So very cool. They have both of those in those animated styles where they have the small bodies and bigger upper bodies. So that'll be cool to look at both of those as well. So I'm excited to check out these figures. So let me go ahead and get these out of the box and we'll take a look at all four of these figures together. So let's start off with the DC Rebirth Superman with real name Kal-El, or Clark Kent as he goes by. But since there's not much to know specifically about this version of Superman, and we'll have his card that reads just the normal stuff, it's just your standard Superman story. But with DC Rebirth, it was ran from May 2016 to November 2017, which restored the DC Universe to pretty much a pre-Flashpoint form, but included elements and continuity from the New 52. So again, it's just pretty much your standard Superman story, just a new look for Superman, which overall I do like this look. I think he looks, pretty cool here. Still looks like your standard Superman. Face looks pretty standard for Superman stuff. Has the black hair that's all slicked back, but the one like little curl into the front. And I like how it even has like the little blue like sort of tinge into it on there, like some highlights throughout the hair. So that's pretty cool. But then he's a big muscular body and stuff just like Superman with the all blue spandex suit. Has the S on the chest with the red and yellow there, of course. And then the red cape hanging down in the back. And then just again, the all blue spandex, nice red belt design there around his waist. So no separate color red underwear or anything, all in blue again, and going down with the all blue boots as well, just has the red designs there at the top of them. So overall I think this looks pretty cool. It's nice design stuff for Superman. This could just be like your standard Superman or whatever, but it is a McFarlane, and I have my same issues every single time I do McFarlane videos. But I just hate the designs of the figures themselves, like not the look of them. I think they look pretty cool. They do a really good job with like the looks of the characters, but just the actual like plastic figure body itself I have so many issues getting these things to stand up. Fighting with like the legs and stuff to get to stand up is just a pain. Thankfully the rebirths aren't as bad, but those animated figures are horrible at trying to get to stand up. I just always have to fight with McFarlane's. Like I say, every video I do of McFarlane, it's a fight with the figures, which is really annoying. But as I said, it's pretty much your standard Superman, so nothing really major to go into storyline there or anything. But let's look at the movements. So the head can twist a little side to side and kind of force it there all the way around. I thought the hair was going to be in the way in a second, but I can look up and look down. So not much moving the neck, and can look maybe that far up. So not far enough like for flying, but it's not too bad, better than some figures, but some pretty okay movements in the head there. The shoulders can come up 90 degrees, have that like butterfly style joint in there, but can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that's a little bit stiff. A lot of these figures are going to be pretty stiff, but especially with like their ratcheting joints, it's so hard. Like this upper elbow joint was hard as heck to get to move, but there you can see them both bend up together, so pretty good movements up in there, just really stiff elbows. And then we have the wrist on the ball joint once again, so it can rotate all the way around and then flex wherever the line of the ball joint is, so you can do up and down or side to side. If we have that crunch right in here, you can see that separation, so you can crunch back and forth, just a little bit of crunching forward and a little bit back, so not much there at all, but can twist all the way around mostly. And then it has the crunch more in the waist as well, so even a little further forward and a little further back, you can kind of see that separation in there, so not much crunching. The hips can come up about 90 degrees, a little bit under there, out to the side that far. Pretty much can do the splits as most of these figures can. A little bit of a thigh twist in there, not much on this one, but a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. And then the foot, we have the ball joint once again, so it can twist all the way around there at the ankle, and then can flex back and forth a little bit side to side itself, and then has the toe joint on the end. So overall it's not a bad figure. There are some issues, but not nearly as much as we will see coming up. Still not the easiest to stand up, but not nearly as many issues. But with this figure, we do have a stand, as they all do, but this one comes with a flight stand. So we have the DC flight stand, so you can either stick him on the stand on the peg down there or put it up in the flight stand. So let's see if we can make him fly. So there we can have Superman in a flying pose there with the flight stand, which looks pretty cool there. And then of course we also get his card. So there's of course a picture of the figure itself for DC Rebirth, and there on the back, of course, real name Kal-El or Clark Kent, and it says of Earth from the dying planet Krypton. As a baby, Kal-El was found by farmers Martha and Jonathan Kent and raised as their son Clark. As Clark grew up, the radiation from Earth's yellow sun gave him extraordinary powers which he kept hidden. Now fully grown, he uses his power to protect his adopted world as as Superman. The Man of Steel is virtually invulnerable and has the powers of super strength, super speed, and flight. He also has enhanced senses, including heat vision, x-ray vision, super hearing, and super breath. So pretty much standard stuff there for Superman, as I mentioned. So nothing specifically to go in here with the Rebirth version of Superman, but just overall his look is that Rebirth version, which I think is actually pretty decent looking and everything. I actually like the look overall for him. And next up, we got the DC Rebirth version of Reverse Flash. So just like Superman, going to be the same as all the other Reverse Flashes, just in the DC Rebirth look for him. But his real name is Eobard Thawne, and he's from the 25th century, but he became obsessed with Flash and traveled back in time and created a negative speed force to try and make Flash live in pain until they became friends. But I like this figure a lot because, as it says, you know, in Stored stuff, it's the Reverse Flash, so he's the reverse of Flash, and that's pretty much exactly what he is. So we do have the Rebirth version of Flash here we can bring in, and you can see it's going to be pretty much exactly the same, just in reverse. So everything that's red on Flash is now yellow, and everything that's yellow is now red, except for he doesn't have the little lines there on his chest, but everything else is exactly the same. So of course they just took the same figure and just repainted it and stuff. Even like the Flash symbols, you can see they're just reversed, you know, white and black, and then the lightning bolts are going different directions. So very interesting with the whole reverse thing there, and I like that a lot, that just they took the same thing and just redid, of course, different faces and everything there. So it can be Eobard Thawne in the face there with the angry face and the dark eyes and stuff, but very cool that they went to that much detail to just take the same figure and just reverse all this stuff. So once again, the figure looks amazing, so they did a really good job with the Rebirth version, and for him, I actually don't have any issue standing up, so this is a good figure to have because he's, you know, no issue standing or anything. But for movements, we'll go ahead and do that, so the head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so much better movements than the neck than Superman. Shoulders up 90, has that ball joint design in there, and of course rotates all the way around. Good bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far, almost all the way up on itself. Wrist twist all the way around, again flex on the ball joint, so currently it's up and down. Ab crunch up in here, so crunch forward, crunch back, so more crunching than here, and twist all the way around, and again a little bit more crunching down in the waist there, so much lower down. Hips up that far out to the side, thigh twist is just very little in there. A double knee joint bends up that far to the back, almost kicking his butt. Ankle swivel all the way around at the ball, and then the foot flexes back and forth. Twist a little side to side on itself, and this one feels like it's a little bit stuck, but it does move a little bit there, and then the toe joint at the end. So this, I would say, is a good figure. No issues with the joints really or anything. It does stand up, so no major issues there, and I think it just looks really cool. But as usual for accessories, we get the base, so the normal classic base, so we'll just pop him on it just to help him stand. And with him, we get a bunch of the lightning effects, so I think we got these with a past figure. It may have been that same Flash as well, but we get a bunch of red lightning. So we have like this piece here that can go onto his back, so we can just twist around. He should, yeah, have a peg there in his back, and we can just slide this in. So it's a little bit hard to get all the way in his back, so it kind of sticks off a little bit there, but there you can have the red lightning coming off of his back now, so that is pretty cool. Have to adjust it, you know, to make it look good. We also get the piece down for his foot, so his foot can go on the peg and kind of be like that. So maybe let's see if we can put him in a running position with this. Maybe, I know it's supposed to go on the base because it has the peg hole on it there, but let's see if we can do it for the foot that's off the base. So there we can have the foot peg one, so there we can actually have him like that, so pretty close to being like running. And then we get these additional little red pieces that go on like his legs and arms. I don't know if they really matter, but he does have like these little pegs and stuff, so we can take like the smaller ones, I assume, and put them onto his arms. So it can be like this, like, you know, he's actually sort of like running and lightning's coming off of him. So let's pop these in. And so there we go. We have all the lightning there on the Reverse Flash, which looks pretty cool. I like all the red added onto it. So that looks pretty cool. And of course, with being Reverse Flash, you know, normal Flash has yellow lightning, so this one has red. So pretty interesting for that. So I really like that with all the additional lightning and stuff. Makes him look super cool there. So that is pretty awesome. And then of course we have his card. So there's a picture of him. So it has some of the lightning and stuff there on him. So that's cool. And of course his real name Eobard Thawne. But it says obsessed with uncovering the secret of super speed. A scientist from the 25th century named Professor Eobard Thawne traveled back in time to meet his idol, the Flash. However, when he learned that he was destined to become a villain and die in the hands of the Scarlet Speedster, Thawne went insane and became the Reverse Flash. The Reverse Flash harnessed the power of negative speed force, which grants him many of the same superpowers as the Flash, but also allows him to travel through time. He often uses this ability to travel through time to continuously wreak havoc on the time stream and torment the Flash. But overall, pretty good. I really like the look, and with the additional lightning and everything for this figure, I really like it a lot. So this is actually a really good figure here of the Reverse Flash from DC Rebirth. Well, let's transition back now to Superman. So we have Superman here in the black suit. So it's much like the Superman from Superman Returns back in the 90s, after he died and returned in the all black and silver suit. But this is from the animated series version, which I don't believe he appeared in. Like when I tried to do research, I don't believe he appeared in this version in the Superman the animated series show. So I think it's just very, they've already had the animated version made. And so they just took him and put him in the black and silver suit. So I believe that's all that this is just a repaint of that. And especially when we read the card that comes with this, it sort of talks of something different. So it just looks like the normal suit animated series version of Superman, which we have had before. And so speaking of, might as well go ahead and bring him in here. So here's the animated version. So it's just a repaint of that. So nothing new or anything going in here. You can see the cape and everything exactly same design. Everything's the same. Just maybe a little bit of bell. I guess not. It's just more the silver painted on there where it's yellow on that one. So everything is exactly the same between these two figures. Just the overall suit color is what's different. But overall, I think it looks cool. Like I like the animated design, but just with these figures, it is horrible, especially this one. His hips are so loose, as you see. I even just pick him up, he starts falling backwards, and I think it's just because they have such big upper bodies, so he's big and bulky, and then the little skinny lower bodies, so even like putting him on the stand and everything, he is really hard to get to stand up, and I'm surprised he's been standing up like this long here. Every time I was messing with him before, he just kept falling over, and then he's got super weak hips, so that doesn't help at all. So that's just one of the issues. I always have issues with McFarlane's the way it is, but these animated series ones are horrible just because they have such little lower bodies and the big upper body, so it makes them top heavy and they just want to fall over the whole time. But we're going to do the movements for this one. So the head can twist there side to side, maybe force it all the way around there. Once again, gets stuck in the little places, but can look down that far and up that far, so pretty good. And once again, I like the Superman with the little curly Q, but with the animated styles, the big like butt chin, much like Jay Leno, and very interesting looking face design there. But anyways, back to the joints. So the shoulders can come up under 90 at least, because he's got the big like shoulder points on there. So under 90, has the butterfly joint rotate around within there. Of course, a little bit of bicep twist, and it's got the big bulky arm. It's much less movements in there. The single elbow joint that bends to about 90 there, so pretty interesting, not the double elbow joints. And then wrist twist around and flex up and down on the ball once again. Has the upper ab crunch, so crunch forward, crunch back. Very little crunching for this figure, mostly just shaking, but can twist side to side. And maybe not even a crunch like at the waist like the others have had, just pretty stiff there. The hips, like I said, are loose. I can come up under maybe 45 degrees there out to the side that far, so close to doing the splits. But of course the thigh twist and stuff because it's loose up in there. The double knee joint on thin little legs that can come up that far, very close to kicking his own butt. And then the foot once again rotate on the ankle, and then the foot rocks back and forth and can twist side to side itself with the toe joint on the foot. So again, with figures like these, like the animated ones, the look is really high up there, pretty high rating, but just the execution of the figure itself is pretty low just because it's hard as hell to get him to stand. But once again, they come with a base, so I'll put him on just to help him stand a little bit, but they usually don't help out too much, but just helps a little bit at least to try and maybe get through the video. And for accessories, he comes with some additional hands. So he has like the fist hands. He has a hand with like a trigger finger for some reason, and he comes with additional hands of another fist and a hand with a trigger finger. Don't know why, because Superman don't use guns. But I believe that's mostly because he does come with a piece of metal here, so it's just so grip hands you can use and stuff to put in here, so it can be like he's flexing up the metal and everything. So we'll have to switch his hands out to put this in it. So there you can have Superman bending up the metal beam there, which is pretty cool, I guess, but pretty much about all you can probably do with him since he doesn't come with a flight stand or anything. But here we have this card. So there's, of course, a picture of him with a nice cartoonish Metropolis there in the background. It says from the animated series, of course. Real name Clark Kent or Kal-El. Says for much of his early life, the Justice Lord's background matched that of the Justice League's counterpart. That is until President Lex Luthor, after he was confronted and killed, forever changing Superman, who prior did not kill his enemies. The Justice Lords went about imposing their brand of harsh justice on the earth. So that's what I was talking about. The card's different. So it's talking about the Justice Lords, which, like I said, there was a version of Superman in that, but he just looked different. Like his outfit was black, but had more colors and stuff into it. So that's not this figure specifically. But the Justice Lords were an alternate universe version of the Justice League that went rogue after President Lex Luthor executed the Flash. So they all kind of went bad and everything in their universe. So that's, I guess, what this version of Superman's supposed to be. But like I said, if you look at the pictures, I may try and post one up here. They do look different, so it is not that exact same one. But overall, like I said, I like the animated design, but just the execution of the figures themselves could use some work. And finally, we have Flash from the Superman the Animated Series, or just looks like the animated version of Flash, because from Superman the Animated Series, he only appeared in one episode called Speed Demons, and it was an episode where Flash and Superman raced each other for a charity event, but the event was just a whole hoax by the Weather Wizard to use their powers to charge up a thing. Flash just appeared for that one episode, but then of course went on to like the Justice League show and stuff where they had this animated style design and everything, but looks pretty cool overall, but once again has the same sort of issues where it's got the bigger upper body. His isn't nearly as big as like Superman's and stuff, but then the thin lower body and stuff, so he is hard to stand up once again, but not nearly as much as that Superman was, but he does still have some issues. But he looks pretty cool, you know, looks just like your normal Flash, you know, just like the other Flash, but the all red spandex with the yellow lightning bolts, yellow logo there on his chest and everything, yellow boots, and like I said, lightning bolts there on his belt and out of his wrist, and then the yellow lightning bolts there on the side of his head and everything. But so it looks pretty cool. I really like the look of this for the animated style and everything. But for movements, the head's gonna twist around again. It's gonna be stiff probably at first, but it can maybe get a twist. I can't even get it to move side to side or look up and down, so I don't know if the head's just so thin or like whatever, like the movements around in there or what, but it can barely get any sort of movements to move with this head, so that stinks for that. Shoulders can come about 90 degrees, rotate around within there, of course have that like butterfly joint there, bicep twist, the single elbow joint that's real stiff on this one for some reason, if I can bend up there to about 90 degrees, of course the wrist can twist around and flex up and down, upper ab crunch and twist, so crunch forward, crunch back, so much better crunching than most of the figures and can twist all the way around in there, and pretty much no crunching down at the waist, but the hips can come up there, maybe under 90 still, over 45 at least, out to the side. He can pretty much do the splits, little thigh twist in there, double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, and the usual twist around at the ankle, foot rocks back and forth, little twist side to side itself, and then the toe joint on the end. So overall, like I said, the look is really good, doesn't have bad joints or anything, you know, a little bit of stiffness. I just wish they could have executed the animated style a little bit better, so you know, would stand up a lot more easier, but of course we get the stand, so let's go and pop him on that. And he again comes with a set of additional hands, so he has like a grip hand and a fist hand here, but I don't know why Flash would really need either of those, so we don't need it. He does come with the lightning bolt once again, so much like the Reverse Flash one, but with the yellow lightning bolt for the foot peg, so we can pop him on it. Maybe let's try and stick it on the one with the actual like foot peg this time. So unfortunately I couldn't get it to work out on the base too well, so I just tried to switch the feet up and stuff, and of course isn't working out too well here to like try and get him in a good pose or anything. And their feet must be much smaller because you don't really need to do like the toe joint or anything. Like you can see it's just barely there, so maybe just put it up a little bit so you don't have to do too much for this foot. There's probably about the best I can do, but that's an issue like with the weak legs and stuff like that. They keep falling over, so have to try and get them in the right pose to be able to get him to stand up. And then finally, of course, we have its card there, so there's a picture of the figure running there, and it's of course real name Wally West, and it says young, brash, impulsive Wally West gained the powers of super speed during a freak electromagnetical accident. Now the Flash is the fastest man alive, capable of velocities approaching the speed of light, but even if he often acts before he thinks, the Flash is the first one to race into a fight and the super speed winner in many a race against Doom alongside other DC superheroes. So of course, like I said, in this one specifically where he appeared, he did race against Superman, so of course we can bring in that Superman animated version here so they could have a race, but there we can have both of those there together. And now that we have these, we have much more of like the Justice League in the animated series, so it'll be interesting to get more of those. But there we have our animated series figures so far with Batman and Green Lantern thrown in there as well, so very cool. So we need like Wonder Woman and like Martian Manhunter or something like that, Cyborg maybe, just throw in some more characters. So I hope they eventually do get around to making the entire Justice League in the animated style. Like I said, I wish they could figure out the bodies so they'd stand up a lot easier, but I do think they all look really good here together. So there we have our 4 figures of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, where we had the DC Rebirth versions of Superman and the Reverse Flash, as well as the Superman animated series versions of the Black Suit Superman and the Flash. So all 4 of these figures are pretty cool. Like I said, I do like them all. I just wish there just could be something done with McFarlane to where they're just the perfect figures. Like the Superman and Reverse Flash are such good figures. I just wish they could be perfect. And then that animated style is just so fun and classic to me that I wish those could be pulled off a lot better as well. But I just have to deal with them how they are, unfortunately, until something possibly changes, which I doubt it with Todd. But all 4 of them are really nice looking figures. I just wish the figures themselves could be worked better so you could get them up for better posing and everything. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.